I'm Daniel from Robotics Network, and I'm here with Team 22045 Power Breakers here at the Texas State Championship. Finishing off very strong today, being the second alliance going into y'all's division, finishing off quarterfinals in y'all's division, currently top 3 auto in the world, having a very great day so far. Learn more about their vectoring intake and the turret gearbox here behind the bot. So, Power Breakers, going into Decode, obviously it seems like you'll have a very interesting archetype that went for a very simplistic volume-based robot. What went behind that? Why is there something a certain way y'all went for a volume over an indexing robot, or it's just tell me about that?
Certainly. So we observed at the beginning of the season that a lot of teams decided to prioritize indexers, and we just predicted that the logic it took to sort through all the balls would just tank our shooting time a lot, which is why we went up for spam bot over shooting. This helped a lot. We've worked towards that goal, and now our shooting time is less than a second. So that's the reason why we went for a shooting bot over a spin exit.
Yeah. Okay, and going into y'all's intake, it seems like y'all have some very interesting vectoring on the front of y'all's intake with y'all's mechanism rollers, some silicone rollers, some gecko wheels. Can you tell me about what went into this vectoring, if y'all started out with something different at the beginning of the season, or how you've just iterated throughout the season, at least intake-wise?
So we wanted our intake to be wide, but also not have the problem of possession penalties, which is why we made the intake geometry on each ramp different. So basically, since this is curved, the ball has to travel a larger path, which prevents jamming in the intake. Additionally, we have vectors over here to help with balls going to the center and prevent possession penalties. So when we were developing this, when we were building this, the 48mm silicone wheels, the 48mm confined wheels were out of stock. So we actually had to innovate and silicone mold these custom gripwood wheels. And we actually found that they were more effective than normal COD's vector wheels. Additionally, we started off with just normal PLA rollers at the beginning of the season, but we discovered that did absolutely nothing for us, which is why we molded custom polyurethane vectors. Yeah, that's our intake. Additionally, we took some inspiration from other teams, which is why we have our pitched intake here. Other teams have to calculate a lot of compression to have their intake at the right level, but what our pitched intake does is that it basically swallows up the ball so that it doesn't really have to calculate anything. It doesn't have to be as precise. It will just guarantee that we intake perfectly.
Yeah.
Before we get to our next segment, we'd like to thank the following. Take on the Decode season with AnyMark. FTC teams can discover great components such as AnyMark's 3-inch mechanism wheels, programmable servos, sensors that detect distance, color, orientation, and many more solutions for your team. Find this and more at anymark.com and count on AnyMark for the reliable service that teams expect. FRCT's Managed Store Program is an easy and profitable way to fundraise for your team or off-season event. FRCTs will handle everything from production, packaging, bulk or drop shipping, payment collection, and accounting. Teams can set their own prices and FRCTs will take care of the rest. Fill out a quote request or get more information when you schedule a callback at frcts.com.
And going more into y'all's transfer from y'all's intake, it seems like y'all just have a pretty simple ramp straight up with y'all silicone rollers, but y'all's transfer, it seems to be super duper fast by y'all's matches, and y'all are able to have throughput within less than a second. Can you tell me if what went through your transfer and how you iterated throughout the season on that, or if just one and done on y'all's very first iteration, y'all got it like that?
So we did have a robot before this that used a bunch of other wheels, like surgical tube wheels, vector wheels, intake wheels. We were spreading it out all over the place. And then we discovered that speed equals simplicity, which is why we have such a simple transfer over here. We have just 3 rollers of gecko wheels over here and 2 rows of smaller gecko wheels over here, which just provide force to push it into the shooter without any extra steps.
Yeah, and going a little bit into y'all shooter, it seems like y'all have an extremely consistent shooter, super versatile all around the field. Can y'all tell me about y'all shooter? It seems like it's a very interesting design here with y'all's hood shooter, all of y'all's weight. Can y'all tell me about that and just how you did it? It seems like y'all went for a counter roller, which isn't really a thing you see a lot with teams because it's a lot of iteration that you have to go through. Can you tell me about the process through that and how that went?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the main features I want to highlight about the shooter here is actually our turret mechanism. If you see under here, it's not really visible, but we have basically what is a gearbox that links from 4 to 1, and then on top is a 1 to 4 with the bigger gear. What this basically does is that makes it 1 rotation of the servo equals 1 rotation of the entire turret. This helps because it increases our tracking time greatly, and we do not have to burn out the servo while dynamically adjusting to the field. In addition, moving on to an actual shooter, we decided to go with the counter roller because it increases our consistency from far shots. Today we succeeded a lot in far shots, and it's due to this counter roller that we were able to. What this does, it decreases backspin on the ball, which prevents the balls from bouncing out of the goal. So, as you can see here, we also have an angling system that works on gear rack. For our V2, we went for a gearbox over here, but we found that was really janky and unreliable, which is why we were able to iterate over to this gear rack over here. This is able to go from a 30 minimum to a 50 maximum.
Yeah, and jumping a little bit more on the software side of y'all shooting, can you tell me, it's like I said, y'all are super versatile on the field and y'all miss virtually no shots. Can you tell me how you do that? If that's a base limelight-based vocalization, solely pinpoint, or like maybe a merge of both? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it's a merge of both. Essentially, the robot sees where it is on the field, uses trigonometry to find the best offset for the turret, and then corrects itself based on limelight. Limelight's more for like minor corrections, while the pinpoint has like major changes, because the limelight can't always see the able tag. Yeah, so we start off with pinpoint, then go to limelight.
Yeah, and going into a little bit more into y'all shooter math. So a lot of teams will like maybe use linear regression, quadratic equation. Can y'all tell me what would be behind y'all shooter math? Because like I said, y'all are able to put have a throughput of less than a second and super consistent throughout the game.
Yeah, so we calculate distance from the target using limelight, and we plug that into another, and we did that through a regression equation, linear, and we plug that info into another linear equation that finds the best combination of both hood angle and flywheel speed.
Yeah, and going a little bit into y'all's MOI, it seems like y'all have a lot of weights here. Is that something that y'all played with throughout the season, or like, and that y'all had like maybe it's a perfect like tune for, or is that something that beginning of season and it was great?
Yeah, so we actually experimented with a lot of different materials. We ended up on steel, but first we went with a lower MOI since GoBuilder hadn't released these sizes. Before our competition, we tested with a bunch of different weights. So we tested with a combination of different vendor wheels and different weights before eventually landing on this idea. Someone can talk more about it.
Yeah, so we started off with just a simple PIDF controller for the flywheel speed, but we eventually reverted to bang bang plus PIDF, depending on how far away the target velocity was from the current velocity.
Yeah, and going a little bit more into the software side of y'all's turret, like you said, or y'all said that this is a V2 of y'all's turret. Can you tell me about the first iteration, maybe how that went, and what like improved software side and mechanically, or just overall more about y'all's first iteration?
Yeah, so V2, we didn't have a turret at all, so that was a big learning curve for us when we created the V3. But we additionally improved the recovery time greatly with better PIDFs, making sure we maximize the p-value.
Okay, and go ahead.
Yeah. So on the mechanical side, as I said before, we did use a bigger variety of intake wheels. For example, we went with surgical tuning for an intermediary, but we discovered that just the complexity that was brought on by just using a different amount of wheels tanked our cycle time down, which is why we went with such a simplistic standpoint.
And going a little bit into y'all's drivetrain, I don't know if there's anything super special about it, but y'all are super fast on the field and y'all are able to traverse the field insanely fast. Is that just maybe something software, maybe a perfect ratio on y'all's drivetrain? Can you tell me about that?
So mechanically, this drivetrain is like a lot of other teams. It's just about this drivetrain, but our speed on the field is largely based on our power jaw, like how we're able to divert power from our shooter to our drivetrain at different times.
Yeah, and going a little bit into y'all's trajectory sequence here, y'all have a top 3 auto in the world, having a super duper consistent auto. Can you tell me what type of trajectory sequence here do you use? Do you have anything special about y'all's autos that you want to highlight, or just tell me all about that?
Yeah, it was largely based on just rigorous tuning when it came to the Pedro pathing. We have an 18 near and 18 far auton with some customizability, so that factors into our OPRs usually. Yeah, that's pretty much it, just large tuning. The bot's pretty good too mechanically, so we can achieve that.
Yeah, and going a little bit into y'all sensor work and the other software side, y'all have any sensors that y'all want to highlight? Any fail-safes that you put into your robot that are just make y'all so consistent through y'all's matches?
Yeah, we used to have brake beams to detect the amount of balls we had at each time for better autonomous and tele operations, but we later realized that sometimes the ball got intaked way too quickly for the brake to sense it. So we started using motor encoders to see like the spikes in both intake and outtake velocities, and by just like counting each time that happens, we can see the number of balls in our robot.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Power Breakers. It seems like you've had a very great day so far, finishing off very strong, being the top 3 auto in the world. Yeah, thank you all so much. I'm Daniel from Fun Robotics Network, and this has been 22045 Power Breakers here on Behind the Bot.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. FRCT's Managed Store Program is an easy and profitable way to fundraise for your team or off-season event. FRCTs will handle everything from production, packaging, bulk or drop shipping, payment collection, and accounting. Teams can set their own prices, and FRCTs will take care of the rest. Fill out a quote request or get more information when you schedule a callback at frcts.com. Take on the Decode season with AndyMark. FTC teams can discover great components such as AndyMark's 3-inch Mecanum wheels, programmable servos, sensors that detect distance, color, orientation, and many more solutions for your team. Find this and more at AndyMark.com and count on AndyMark for the reliable service that teams expect.